We start at Tombolg's hole, and it is just Stumblefoot and Orbog present. Orbog is otherwise preoccupied with his Orbogginess, trying to assume his next actions. What would you like to do?
I would like to cast Commune.
Okay.
So I'm going to get out my incense and a vial of holy water, set it up, and sit down and begin to pray.
Okay.
And the first question I'm going to ask is the true name of Lolth Arashni?
As you ask this question, you feel your consciousness slip almost into a different location. And as you look before you, you see a white celestial that has white hair and dark eyes.
Okay.
I believe you must be Felix's friend.
That's a him. Who may you be?
A mutual friend. For the sake of brevity, you can call me Leona.
Well, Leona, my name's Stumblefoot. Or, for the sake of brevity, you can call me by my actual name, which no one ever uses, which is Dron.
Dron? I feel like that's never been uttered in our existence here.
No one's ever asked.
What would you prefer to be called?
Either is fine with me.
Stumblefoot it is, unless you should choose otherwise. I feel like there was somebody else who normally does this.
Well, it would have been the keeper, but
right. Okay.
He's no longer with us.
Yeah. Yes, I'm aware of that. Everything's falling into place now. So I've been sent to you, but I need to keep a watch on LL at the moment, so I kind of brought you to me. If the Stumblefoot won't go to the mountain, bring the mountain to Stumblefoot. You know how it is.
I understand. I'm trying to determine the true name of Lolth, and I have asked if Arashni is her true name.
You're asking about the 5 names of Lolth, aren't you?
I am.
I will tell you that none of them are the true name, but they are the key to the true name.
Okay. Are her 5 names some kind of anagram?
No. Here, let me... And she writes the 5 names in the dust before you, and she says to you, look down into these names and meditate upon them.
Okay, I look down at the names and meditate upon them.
All right. Make a wisdom check for me, please.
Oh, dice, don't fail me now. My wisdom's high. With a +5 modifier, I'm always going to roll high. That's a 19.
She goes, You're kind of a willful dwarf, aren't you?
It's sort of the way we dwarves are.
Understandable. Here. And she kind of takes out a glass and circles her finger around the rim, and it fills with an oily black liquid that Orbog would recognize. She says, drink this.
Okay, I will drink it.
Go ahead and roll that again, except with a -10.
I'm going to try a different die this time. With a -10, that will be a 0.
You slip into what a person from our realm would call a trance or hypnosis.
Okay.
Like, have you ever been to a dentist office and they give you the nitrous?
Yes.
And you stare at the like the speakers on the ceiling that's piping in the terrible music, and like the little dots on the speaker start spinning in circles.
I don't know that I've had that experience exactly. That seemed oddly specific.
That's memories of my childhood.
But I think I get what you're driving at.
Okay, so you're staring at the letters of these 5 names, and the letters start to swirl around. And as they're swirling around, it's like images start to pour before you of unspeakable things that Lolth has done, and unspeakable things that have been done in the name of Lolth. And they start coming before you. You start seeing just all these. You're basically, what you're seeing is Lolth's nature.
Okay.
And everything that she is. Her selfishness and her wrath and her hate and just all of it. And it sickens you to behold it, but in the same sense, you begin to understand that to truly pronounce a person's being, their full essence of who they are, is to truly know who that person is. That's the power of a true name. And you begin to understand why celestials and demons alike refuse to talk about execration magic, because there's so much power behind it that if someone gets a hold of the magic as well as the essence of who these entities are, they could wield it for almost godlike purposes.
Okay.
And you see these things before you, and it's almost like you have the name in her name in your mouth, and it's ready to be spoken at a time. It's not something that you can say to yourself, oh, her name is Sally. It's just something that at the right time it's going to come forth.
Okay.
And then your vision comes clear, and you're in the presence of Leona again.
Okay.
And she says, well, I believe that's one question down.
I had a couple other questions I wanted to ask, but now I don't remember what they were.
Well, while you're thinking of them, Leona is going to say, well, while you come up with your next 2 questions, I want you to understand something. There's also a reason why you've been put into contact with me.
Oh.
I am something of a guide.
Okay.
Some cultures might refer to me as the Angel of Death.
Oh, that's a wee bit disconcerting.
There's nothing to fear. I am merely someone who helps guide the spirits of those exiting their mortal vessel into their final destination. We both know why you wanted Lolth's true name.
Well, it's a means to an end, but I'll do whatever I can to stop evil and safeguard my friends.
As much as I hate to admit it, this is probably the only way that you're going to be able to truly restrain Lolth from Felix and his family.
I understand it's a steep price to pay. You know, the one that I serve, he's got his plans, and if this is part of his plan, then I best play out my part.
She smirks when you say the one that you serve, and she goes, well, it's a little known fact, but it's actually the one we all serve in some way or another.
That's true. That's true enough indeed. I don't know. I guess I'm worried about Gareth. Is he still alive?
Gareth?
Aye.
Yes, he's still very much alive.
That's a relief.
He actually leads a small army at the moment.
Oh, really? I guess my last question is, this is information I can share with the rest of the group, is the key to defeating Carrick through defeating Zeus?
Well, at this point, they're almost one and the same.
Interesting.
I would say that if you defeat one without defeating the other, then there will always still be a remnant to return. Maybe not in this generation, but in generations to come.
I understand. I'll pass that along to my friends.
Some might call it a Horcrux.
Okay, that's a word I've not heard before. Well, Leona, I thank you for your help, and I'm glad to know that you're on our side, that you're looking out for LL.
Yes, well, me and Felix have a complicated relationship. But I digress. One thing I wanted to address with you.
Yes.
Presently, there is something in the way between the prime-material plane and, well, where I would need to take you.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that from Emryn and now her brother, Nikis. I have my suspicions with all that's been going on.
Right.
I think it's related to Carrick and Zeus.
As a guide, though, as your guide, I would like to propose an alternative for you, rather than to walk that particular plane.
Okay, I'm all ears.
You're familiar with soulstones.
Aye, that I am.
I would propose that you allow me to keep you until the path is cleared. Would you find that to be agreeable, then?
Considering the alternative, I think so.
Very well. And I sense there are still more questions that remain. Our time is short, but perhaps...
I saw a vision of us having to destroy King Vault. And we've destroyed the fake King Vault and banished Lolth, but we have the real King Vault and his soulstone. If we were to restore Vault to his... merge his stone with his body, would that vision I saw previously come to pass of him choking out and destroying Towerfall?
That vision was given the circumstances as you knew them at that time.
Okay. Well, then I guess me and my friends have a discussion to have.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Foot, I shall bid you an adieu until we meet again later.
Until we meet again.
Sorry, I forgot something. I might have had a sip of that before I gave it to you. Tell Orbog he needs to make peace with the Drow, or all of this will be for naught.
I'll let him know.
Sweet. It was cool to know you.
It's cool to know you too.
I'll see you in a bit.
So come on in, we're all friends, playing games with strangers. I'm playing games with strangers. I'm playing games with strangers. I'm playing games.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this final episode of Arc 3 of Playing Games with Strangers. So with us tonight, we have, as Stumblefoot, Eric Campagno.
That's not my name.
Eric Campagno.
There you go.
Josiah Crandall as Pooh,
Made
the
it
bugbear.
all the way to season 3 without dying.
It's a Christmas miracle.
I'm still trying, and it's not over
I'm
yet.
still trying too.
As Felix or Wilder or whatever, David Clements.
Wow.
Everybody.
Pulling out the full name.
Playing Aileen Sugarbaker, the lovely Celeste Mora.
I was wondering if you were going to try to mess up my name, so I was curious as to how that was going to go.
Joining us shortly is going to be playing Orbog. I see what you guys are doing there.
Yep.
We'll have J.S. Earls, with that being said, let's go ahead and proceed. Wilder, where we left you were checking on your daughter, LL. So you get to your house and you see LL. She's just kind of chilling in the living room. Leona is there, but she looks like she looks a little translucent, like she's only half there. She's kind of doing some celestial stuff, and you're not sure if you normally would see this or if this is the crunchy potion, that the after effects of the crunchy potion, but she's kind of sitting there minding LL, and in the same sense, you can see her mouth moving like she's talking to somebody. And there are certain moments where it looks like she's writing on the floor, but she's also not really doing anything other than minding Leona. So it's almost like a duplicity sort of situation. But I mean, it's not the weirdest situation that you walked in on. But then you look at LL. And this, you're pretty certain, is the crunchy potion talking to you. Because as you look at LL, you notice some spider-like mandibles protruding from her mouth a little bit, but they're ethereal almost. And you notice some movement out the corner of your eye.
I definitely look at the movement out of the corner of my eye.
You see a familiar looking lobster spider hybrid thing that once made itself a part of you.
Is it alive?
It is. But again, it's ethereal.
I'm gonna rush over and I'm gonna pick up LL and just I'll cradle her as best as I can, and then start to back toward the door, calling, Leona.
Yes.
What's this?
What's what?
What's going on with LL?
As you ask this to Leona, she looks at you a little bit confused, like she's not seeing what you're seeing.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
You look like you're not quite all here, and what is that doing here?
I don't. Yeah, she looks in that direction. She's like, I don't see anything there. But as far as what am I doing? I'm actually having a lovely conversation with your friend Stumblefoot.
That's wonderful, but
did you know his real name is Dron?
No, I not to be rude, but I don't really care right now. What's wrong with my daughter, Leona? Why are you talking to him and not watching her?
I was doing both. I don't see anything to be alarmed about.
I'm gonna kind of put LL kind of in front of me and look her right in the face to make sure I saw what I thought I saw.
You still see it.
Leona? I think Lolth has a hold of her.
I suppose that would make sense given the conversation I've been having with your friend Dron. I would suggest you take her to him.
Would I know where Stumblefoot is?
You left him at Tom Bolg's hole.
Okay. All right. And I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to walk out the door with LL and head toward Tom Bolg's.
Who?
Yes, sir.
We last left you on the outskirts of northern Towerfall,
Yep.
contemplating a little ditty you just had sang to you.
Yes. After sitting there for a while, he stands up.
Right. Well, I didn't like that at all. I need to get back to the others.
And he starts heading back towards Tom Bolg's as well. He's very he's a little shaken up, and he wants to make sure that thinking about Christopher and everything again. He's kind of been thinking about all that stuff. He wants to make sure Stumblefoot doesn't do anything rash. So he's kind of booking it back there.
Okay. Aileen, you've been out walking with your brother.
Yes.
The question is, did you take him back to Aunt Tilda's?
I don't even know where Tilda is in this city.
Well, I mean, he would.
I would not wish that on my best friend, much less my brother.
Okay.
I'm not even sure I'd wish that on Carrick.
Ouch.
So where did you leave him?
Well, he's apparently a grown halfling. He scampered off.
Okay. So what is Aileen doing? Are you heading back to the hole as well, or?
Yes.
And Orbog never left the hole, so. All right, so oddly enough, all of you seem to arrive at the same time, almost in a serendipitous manner.
Oh, Wilder, Orbog, Aileen, you're all here.
Yes, dear. We are.
Where's Stumblefoot?
Well, that's what I was who I was looking for.
I'm in here.
Stumblefoot, you can't do the thing.
Pooh,
Oh,
shut up.
we'll get to that.
Stumpy, what's wrong with Alel?
I will examine LL.
Just looks like LL to you, although to Orbog, who also has had a crunchy potion, Orbog, you also see spider-like mandibles protruding from LL's mouth, as well as a couple more black beady eyes beginning to form off of her forehead.
Looks just like her father.
I think Lolth has.
Yes, I would say.
I think Lolth has her.
Yes, I think she does too. She looks like you did when she had you.
Well, I've got a solution for that, but we need to have a conversation about a few things.
I don't like the way you say conversation, Stumblefoot.
Well, I spent some time performed a commune ceremony in order to get some advice about what we should do next. I had a nice conversation with Leona, who is Wilder's friend. Also, she's got another job. She's a celestial, sort of similar to how the Keeper was. Different set of responsibilities. And she passed on some information for me. First things first, King Volt. I did find out that we have a decision to make regarding what we want to do with Volt. We have his soul stone, we have his body. We could restore him. If we did that, it would not cause the event that I saw in my vision. That event was related to the Yonti that was masquerading as Vaults and their partnership with Lolth. But if we did restore King Vault, then we're now restoring the old, a remnant of the old government. I don't know how you want to handle that.
Well, that sounds like an Orbog question.
Orbog, I was also told that you need to make peace with the Drow, or everything that we've been working towards here in Towerfall will be for naught.
Well, I was kind of trying to, but those stupid Haryu.
That message was from you then.
It wasn't exactly they paraphrased.
My client neither confirms nor denies that.
I'm just the messenger in this case, and I was told that
Yes.
you need to find a way to make peace with the Drow, or there's going to be more problems for Towerfall.
Oh, because we need those.
It sounds like they were part of the problem before anyways.
Hey, they were.
I mean, were they the ones that were doing the raiding when we...
I believe they were. But I believe they were doing so because they thought it was the will of Lolth. And we're about to take that piece out of the equation, I think.
Oh, are we?
Oh, yes. Are we?
We are.
We are.
We are. Aye.
Now,
How are we planning to do that?
Well, I got a scroll and I've got some information And if I use this scroll...
Stumblefoot, I'm going to stop you right there. Because I
Sure.
did some communing on my own. I was talking to a very wise individual.
Was it a wall?
No, it was me. And I was thinking that we've had so much loss, and we can't lose someone else. Stumblefoot, you can't do this.
Well, I've been looking at things, and I've done some praying and consideration, and I think that maybe this is my role to play. This is my purpose. Also, I won't be gone for good. Leona let me know that because of the things that are going on in the spiritual realm, probably with Carrick, that she can't guide me completely past the veil. But she can guide me into a soul stone. So I won't really be gone.
But soul stones are no fun. I've been in one.
Well, Stumblefoot's not very much
And
fun.
they tend to be eaten.
It may not be fun, but it'd be better than being obliterated.
Yes, but you wouldn't be here with us. Who would
No,
give us
I wouldn't.
good advice and help us? And Stumblefoot, I can't.
Pooh tries to grab the scroll away from Stumblefoot.
Well, the scroll's in my bag. I don't have it out right now.
So he's just rifling through your bag.
Oh.
Yeah, he tries to go for the bag, I guess.
Pooh, now stop that.
Give me that
No,
thing.
stop it. Stop it right now.
Now, everybody just calm down. Now, what do you mean a soul stone? Are you talking about killing yourself?
I'm not talking about killing myself. I am talking about the fact that if I use the magic from this spell, it's powerful enough to destroy a being like Lolth, but it costs something. In which case, it would cost me.
He's talking about a redistribution of health.
He's talking about a redistribution of body.
Exactly.
He's talking nonsense.
No. Pooh, you were willing to die for people that you cared about. He's willing to die for, as far as we know, the world right now. Not just Towerfall. The ladies were willing to die for their brothers. This is what you do.
I was being fueled by anger and protectiveness. That is very different.
Oh, but I care for Stumblefoot. I care for all of you.
I care for all of you too, but I've come to realize that this is my part to play in the grand design for now. And I'm going to take off the ring of the grammarian that Callum gave me. I'm going to hand it to Wilder. And I'm going to say, Wilder, I think maybe you should look after this for now.
Oh, I don't like
I know, the looting is already beginning.
Oh, hush you.
Me?
I think you could make some use for this, and just hold on to it for me until I get back. Or until you see Callum again.
Okay. You're serious about this?
Oh, I'm serious about this. And I'm going to take out my bowl, and I'm going to hand it to Pooh. And I'm going to say, now, I know you had a wee problem at the bowl shop.
I did, yes.
And this is a very nice bowl.
It's very.
And I'd like you to hang on to this for me until I get
It's
back.
a very nice bowl.
And he takes the bowl.
Better than your ball.
It's a very nice bowl.
Roll for clumsiness.
Well, it's made out of metal, so it's going to be really hard for him to break it.
It's gonna be,
But possible.
This is Pooh we're
Yeah.
talking about here, so I'm sure he can find a way. But
Would it fit on top of Pooh's head? Just
I'm sure it's a rather large, ornate bowl. I was using it for scrying.
Pooh uses it as a hat.
I'll keep it close to my heart.
I'm going to take out my +1 hand axe, and I'm going to hand it to Orbog, and I'm going to say, it's not quite as big as an axe as you're used to using, but at least it's magic. Why don't you hang on to this for me?
Oh, happy day, magic.
And I'm going to take out my 1 potion of healing and some other things used for resurrection magic, and I'm going to hand those off to Aileen.
I don't like this.
Well, I want to make sure that these things are in the right hands because, well, I don't know if I'm going to disappear and my things are going to be left behind or what. And I mean, they're useful things. You may as well make some use out of them. Besides, you still have Carrick to take care of. You're going to need all the help you can get.
Now, that is true.
Another piece of information that I learned.
Yes.
Carrick and Zeos at this point are basically, they're two separate beings, but they're basically the same thing. If you don't destroy both of them, then one of them will be essentially a remnant, and the evil that Carrick represents will be able to manifest in the future and come back. So it's important that when you get the time comes for you to do whatever it is, that you take them both down.
So basically, he's made a Horcrux.
Aye, that was the word that was used. I don't know what that word means.
It means something disgusting. Basically, they take a bit of themselves and put it somewhere it's not supposed to be.
Well, that's what he's done.
That does sound disgusting.
Indeed.
Oh, I'm also going to get out the chest of holding, and I'm just going to set that down on the floor. I'm going to say, whoever wants this can have it.
I'll take that.
Remember, that's not like a bag of holding. If you put something in there, it ends up in Castle Manligar.
I pull it over and I open it up and I stick my hand in and I pull out a potato.
Where did you get that?
Oh no, would you like some? I just need something to munch on right now. This is a very emotional time.
You know, I'm feeling a bit packaged. Pass them over here.
Castle Manligar was on fire, and so in order to put it out, I had to use a few instances of create food and water. The unfortunate part of that spell is that I can't do one or the other. It's both, and so there's a lot of steak, potatoes, and butter in Castle Manligar right now. But the fire's out.
Sounds like a mess to clean up.
Not my problem.
Sounds like a goodwill operation, though. We could feed the homeless. Good job, Stumpy.
I've spent enough time cleaning up bigger messes. Someone can figure out a way to clean up some steak and potatoes.
Real quick, where's Emran? Are we the only ones for a reason?
I went looking for Emran and I didn't find her.
I think Emran might be chasing after family members. I've been jotting down my thoughts over the last few days, and I was wondering if you ever see Callum again, if you could hand this note off to him. I'm going to hold out a letter for Callum.
I can do that.
Thank you, Aileen.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to take out one more thing. It's my copy of the Book of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to hand that to Wilder. You should read this. I mean, honestly, all of you should read it, but Wilder, you should read this. Talk to Leona about it. She can offer you some insights, I'm sure.
This, I've seen you carry this around. It's like the instruction manual kind of thing.
More or less, aye, that's a holy text.
Oh.
Think of it as an instruction manual for life.
Oh, well, I could definitely use that. Pooh, maybe you should read this first.
I have actually. Gareth showed it to me.
Oh. Well,
I mean,
maybe you should read it right side up. Anyway,
well,
sorry.
I only got part way through, to be honest. But it did give me lots to think about. Speaking of which, Stumblefoot, I have something for you.
What's that?
Pooh goes over to Stumblefoot and lifts him up and gives him a big hug.
A Stumblefoot hugs Pooh back fiercely.
Stumblefoot, I don't know what to say, but I hope that this isn't the end.
I hope not, too.
And
Live well, Pooh.
Thank you, Stumblefoot. Thank you.
That's all I want for all of you, is to live well.
Well, where do you want us to put your soul stone? I mean, should we, hide it in Sage's portal or something?
I'll turn it into a necklace. I have earrings of my parents anyway.
Soul stones are big. I mean, they're like as big as your head.
It was a joke.
They're very big earrings.
I don't think now is the time to be making jokes, Aileen. I'm very disappointed in you.
I think now's a great time to make jokes.
Well, I've heard this one about... Wait, how does that go again?
Hey, Stumby, you don't happen to need a finger for what you're planning, do you? That'd be of help.
No, I don't. Whoever's got that can keep it.
Should we keep it? It still has the ring on
I
it.
just wanted to make sure, because I don't really need it anymore.
You can do whatever you like with it.
Who an Orbog high five in the corner.
I suggest you bury it.
Felix, as you say that, when you say I don't need it anymore, LL lets out a loud shriek, and she starts to bite into where your neck and shoulder meet.
I'm going to shove my daughter off of me as fast as possible. And not in the nicest way possible.
Make a strength check.
At the 19.
Yeah, you fling her off of you, and she crawls on all fours over to the wall and starts to climb up the wall to the ceiling.
Oh,
I am
no.
going to run over to her as she is climbing up the wall, and I am going to cast Protection from Evil on her.
Which does...
It protects her against certain types of creatures, one of them being fiends, aberration, celestials, elemental, fae, fiends, and undead. It grants several benefits. Creatures of those types have disadvantage on attack rolls against the target. She also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. If she is already charmed, frightened, or possessed by such a creature, the target has advantage on any new saving throw against the relevant effect. So she would have advantage to break out of that effect.
She rolled a 16, so yeah, she's still writhing around, climbing up the wall, and she makes it to the ceiling, and she starts to skitter across the ceiling.
All right, well, I know how to fix this problem. You get ready to catch her.
Me?
Aye, you.
Okay. And I open the Book of the Dead and I put it on the floor.
Well, that's an interesting thing to do.
I don't know what it does. Okay, do your thing.
It's not magic. You just read it.
Okay, fine. Just do your thing.
I am going to get out the Scroll of Execration, and I am going to begin to use it.
So you guys watch as Stumblefoot pulls out this scroll and begins to read from it. And whatever light that was in this goblin hole that you're in was there begins to dim significantly as these words are being intonated from Stumblefoot. And as he's speaking, LL begins to writhe on the ceiling like a small creature that's been put under a magnifying glass in the sun. And from her mouth, you all hear her shrieking obscenities and blasphemies upon all of you. Then Stumblefoot gets to the section where he names the being he's execrating. And this name comes out of his mouth. And as he says this, you all are wrapped up in this tone that's intonated, where you begin to understand that the true name of an individual, the true name, the hidden name, encompasses not just identity, but the very nature of the being that is being addressed. And you begin to see the vile nature of Lolth and the children that have been sacrificed to her, and the bloody raids that she has had her servants enforce, whether or not they chose to do that, the deception and all manner of filth and dark behavior as this name is named from the mouth of Stumblefoot. To the point, just the hearing of it makes your soul feel filthy. And then there is a magnificent flash of radiant energy that fills the entire goblin hole. And Stumblefoot's gone. And Wilder, you see LL falling from the ceiling of this goblin hole. And you reach out and you catch her. And she is bawling as she puts her head into your shoulder. And as she's weeping, she's apologizing. And she's saying, I didn't mean it, Daddy. I didn't mean it.
And I pull her tight. I just like squeeze her as tight as I feel like I can without hurting her. And I bawl and I keep telling her, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Stumblefoot? He's gone.
Where's the stone?
I don't see it anywhere.
Pooh looks around to see if he can see the soul stone anywhere.
It's not there.
What?
Ugh.
But he said there'd be a soul stone.
Do you think Leona has it?
Well, I should hope so. Otherwise, we're...
Or perhaps it's with my parents.
Gonna put a pause on this moment here. I hate to break the flow, but this is Eric's parting moment. So we want to thank Eric for joining us for the time that he did. We will miss him on the show. He is opening a brick and mortar for Sage's Portal. So show him some love and head off to their website when you're done here and check out what they have to offer.
We are. It's a board game cafe. So we'll be carrying all of our stuff, and it'll be a board game cafe. And hopefully in a few years, there'll be more. There won't just be one. That's the goal. Who knows? Maybe I'll have a free Friday night here and there, and I'll pop in on the show as random characters and torment you and then leave. Bye, guys. I love you guys.
You have been listening to the Playing Games with Strangers podcast with the voices of John Haryu, Catherine Serwinski, Dave Clements, J.S. Earls, Celeste Mora, Josiah Crandall, Eric Campagno, and Steve MacDonald. The theme music was written and performed by Steve Arthur, used with permission. Find more of his music on Facebook or wherever you purchase music digitally. Please review this podcast wherever you download it from to help other podcasters find our podcast and join our community. And once again, thank you for listening.
A massive thanks to our Blade level patrons, Julie Earls, Aaron Peckham, Amanda Clements, Branson Boykin, Matthew Cosby, and Debbie Roth. Learn more and see how you can support the show by going to patreon.com/playinggameswithstrangers.